Hi there, I'm Don.
And hi, I'm Cindy. Welcome to Pearls of Liberty for April 19th, 2014. Yeah, Don just noticed this. Maybe I'll put a little maybe I'll black that out. Uh, so so that we're less offensive. But if you're offended by us, you're going to be offended by other things besides that. So yeah, we wanted to talk a little more this week. Last week we focused on the Bundy Ranch, and of course a lot has happened since then. This situation was peacefully resolved, sure, but things are pretty stirred up. I noticed this morning, Sherry questioning all China, the hypocrisy of the U.S. and Ukraine, old government inhumane against demonstrators. Now U.S. considers demonstrators as terrorists.
Yeah, it's rampant hypocrisy. It's just name calling, and the terrorists are always the bad guys, and it doesn't matter whether they're protesters if they're good guys, and they're terrorists if they're bad guys, and they're doing exactly the same thing. It's just such blatant propaganda that I hope people see through it.
Well, this is kind of what Sherry was referring to from Mark Dice. Senator Harry Reid, Bundy Ranch supporters are domestic terrorists.
Right. There's a big campaign to push that now. They're pushing it. I am wondering if Fox is going along with that, or are they going along with that in piecemeal, or I guess they're reporting on what Harry Reid says, but I'm really wondering where these boundary lines are falling right now. I've seen people like Napolitano on Fox really sticking to his guns as far as his understanding of liberty goes, and I'm hoping that at least mainstream America that doesn't really get their news from the internet are getting some source of truth from Fox News.
Well, certainly a lot of people who are at a certain level of being truthers are hearing negative things about the people at the Bundy Ranch, because Glenn Beck and Alex Jones mentioned that also Breitbart.com. Glenn Beck and Breitbart are both falling on the side of criticizing the people at the Bundy Ranch and more or less agreeing with Harry Reid.
Yeah, that is disconcerting. I'm not surprised from Glenn Beck. I mean, I have considered him an establishment plant into the alternative media world. He is not the real deal. Breitbart, a little less surprising, because I was thinking the jury was still out there after Breitbart was killed, and I believe he was killed. Then who took over? Apparently it was a CIA organized takeover, and the people in charge of Breitbart only go so far, and then, like Glenn Beck, they turn at the opportune moment to be the bad guys, basically like a Benedict Arnold. And hey, that's part of American tradition. Got to learn to recognize the traitors, to camouflage as patriots.
Absolutely. And these guys came out on the side of liberty. Cliven, Bundy, and Rand Paul respond to Harry Reid's domestic terrorist slur. It's nice, it's comforting that both Ron Paul and Rand Paul are taking a stand on behalf of true liberty.
Absolutely.
A little more information on just the scandal here. This is the real story. And of course, Harry Reid is very much involved in this. This is from WorldNet Daily. Democrats awash in green energy deals on public land. I hope that when some of these people hear what people like Harry Reid are saying, they'll think, methinks he doth protest too much. That they're all blustery and pointing fingers elsewhere and making a lot of noise, because there is a lot of guilt here on Harry Reid's part and the part of others.
Yeah, I want to make sure that I emphasize that people that listen to the so-called debunkers about the Harry Reid has a vested interest with the Chinese in this land, that story has not been effectively rebuked or it's still true. There are layers of deception here, and the deeper you go, the deeper you find that it's all about the money. It's all about the military and the Chinese, and even more than it is about green energy. So there's a really good video that I saw. They've done it a couple times with Next News Network, and this a researcher on real estate and investigating the BLM land grabs, not only in the Nevada Bundy Ranch area, but elsewhere. And he's encouraging people to research this, because this really is a federal attack on rural land using the BLM as the spearhead. So be alert, people. This is really going on.
And there was even a federal judge that said the Bureau of Land Management engaged in a criminal conspiracy against ranchers. So
Yep.
this isn't just some shoot from the hip opinion that a few random liberty people with blog sites have. This is reality and backed up.
And it's long been anticipated. People like Joel Skousen have said for a long time that, who is one of the major guys behind preppers, like the Strategic Relocation book that he put together, and he's a Mormon that lives in the West and recommends Utah as an area, among others. But he's long said that the Second American Revolution will begin in the western states over land rights, and it's starting. That's one of the reasons that I think that this is really the kickoff, and it has been planned, it is orchestrated, it is a federal usurpation of states' rights and rights of the people, and it's time to get up to speed and understand what's going on.
Absolutely, and Alex Jones has been very concerned this week about public opinion there's this huge effort to turn public opinion against people who are asking for liberty. And the more we can, of course, it's a holiday weekend. If you're with family, maybe rehearse a little bit about how you can communicate well without being confrontational, and just watch some YouTube videos. Maybe be prepared to answer questions about what you believe about liberty and constitutional government and the rule of law.
Yeah, the main thing to be aware of is the divide and conquer strategy. You'll find out that people are saying, "Oh, he's just a rich white Mormon, this Bundy guy," and it's really all just about he's trying to not pay his taxes and just minimize it, divide it like that. But it's much bigger, it's much broader. No, this is a guy that has been fighting the good fight for a long time. Back in '93, he was in the courts, and he's always said that the land is state land, and the court's case that he lost was in federal court, and it never should have been in federal court. It should have been in state court. So that's what's going on here. And of course, you have state traders like Harry Reid that are sold out to the Chinese and the feds. So this is really a kickoff battle here, and it is fortunately not violent at this point, and that hopefully will be able to be maintained. It was a victory for the liberty movement, being able to get Mr. Bundy's cattle back from the location that they had been illegally taken, and I think that there is a continuing Oath Keepers watch for Mr. Bundy, because there have been threats that they would come and start to arrest people in his home. So this is serious. It's not over. Even Harry Reid has said this isn't over yet, and he's still trying to defame people that want to stand in the tradition of America's founders. And even the U.S. military says, hey, George Washington wouldn't be welcome. He's a terrorist. So they're letting you know where the battle lines are. And it's time. It's happening. This is the rollout.
And David Knight, because David Knight was from InfoWars, was at the Bundy Ranch. InfoWars has a lot of tremendous footage about what really happened, and if you need to prove to somebody that no, the protesters really were peaceful, you can just go to the Alex Jones channel on YouTube and watch some of the videos of what actually transpired there. And,
yeah, there were other outfits too that had their cameraman. It wasn't just InfoWars, and the best footage. I'm not sure it was InfoWars footage. I don't even know who it was, but fortunately, the Liberty movement isn't fighting among itself, with a couple minor exceptions in a couple of key points. But there's a lot of cooperation going on because people know that this is the time that we need to come together, not to be divided.
Sure. So it'll be easy for you to find footage. You might want to bookmark some of your own favorites, just in case there's somebody among your family this weekend who won't believe that they were peaceful unless they see it, and you can show them that no, they were peaceful.
It really was like Tiananmen Square with the horses standing down the tanks. Just instead of a lone person, it was like a cowboy. So pretty cool. I think that can really be a source of encouragement to a lot of people.
Wonderful. So we do wish you a happy Resurrection Day, and if you're celebrating Passover, Shalom Passover, and we hope that you have a great weekend.
He is risen. As always, we remind you to see the world the way that it really is. See yourself in it. Walk your walk. You are the one you've been waiting for.